Right, welcome ladies and gentlemen. It would appear that Games Workshop and Warhammer are suffering a bit of a max exodus, I think. Because of course they are just changing things left, right and centre to appease all of like 0.5% of people, if that. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I am of course talking about essentially Games Workshop trying to retcon or shoehorn in the Adeptus Custodes into canon, and then just acting as if it was always the case. Very, very bizarre. But what's happened from that is a whole bunch of people have gone, I've cancelled my subscription, I'm done. Like, I'm boycotting you, basically. And it was a lot of people. A lot of people. Now, this is interesting because it comes at the 10th release of the codices in June. So we'll wonder what happens with that, I guess, and what happens moving forwards. But it was essentially one of their most viewed tweets where they just tried to retcon it to everyone. And everyone was like, sorry, what? 3D printer go brrr. So let's take a look at this. Hit subscribe if you are new here, folks. And do turn the bell notifications on. I do apologise about my voice. It's a little bit messed up today, as you can probably tell. It is not its usual booming self. So anyway. But I mean, here you have it. Look, you know, headline alone. Numerous Warhammer players cancel their subscriptions and announce a boycott of Games Workshop after announcement of female Adeptus Custodes. It's not, it isn't the female element. It's the fact that Games Workshop and Warhammer are just so brazenly lying to everyone. That's the thing that's annoying people, right? It's the retconning. It's the lies, all to appease who? Like all of 5 people. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely absurd. Their stock isn't hugely tanking as a result of it. It's slightly up to date actually, but it is still down since March. So it's still not back up to where it was in March. It is down at the moment, but it's not taking a huge hit. So we'll see. You know, these things can sort of change drastically, but these boycotts, you know, they do work sometimes. Not that I think it's going to work this time, by the way. Numerous Warhammer players are cancelling their subscriptions and announcing a boycott of Games Workshop after the company retconned their Adeptus Custodes faction to add females. And again, it is a retcon, it is an addition, and it's just a brazen lie that people are irritated with. So, excerpts from the upcoming 10th edition codex. The Adeptus Custodes revealed that Games Workshop was adding females to the all-male faction, even though there are female factions already. Well, again, that's the reason why it's a weird retcon. It's like, why? Anyway, one excerpt, I can't speak, reads: Custodian Calades Travale Kesh stood upon the bridge of a Cobra-class destroyer named Vigilant Flame. The warship belonged to the mighty battle fleet Solar. She lingered in the shadows at the back of the bridge, positioned at a spot where she could observe the actions of every crew member, be they in the instrumentation pits, at the armament shrines, or in the case of Shipmaster Lethwick, stood ramrod straight before his command throne. There you go, it's here. Another excerpt makes it clear that, you know, she is a Custodes, given that she wields a Guardian Spear. Kesh was warned before anyone else aboard, sensing a sudden empiric energy spike coupled with the surge of overpressure and sharp temperature drop that presaged a teleport strike. Her Guardian Spear was levelled and armed before the first cry of alarm or howl of a klaxon rang through the bridge. So there you go. I mean, it is a retcon. It's there. I don't necessarily think it's... I don't think... I could be wrong. You tell me. I don't think the hatred comes from the fact that they're adding it. I think people are a bit sick of retcons, obviously, to appease no one. But I do think it's mainly the gaslighting and the lying that has irritated people. Especially, and I've said this time and time again, and I'll say it again here, we live in the age of the 3D printer. Why? You can just make your own. And they're not cheap. These things are not cheap. Oh my God, they're expensive. But you can buy a file, right? A printing file for a fraction of the price. So Games Workshop confirmed the retcon, but chose to gaslight its own fans and players by claiming that there have always been female Custodes. The company posted on X, since the first of the 10,000 were created, there have always been female custodians. Following the retcon, subsequent gaslighting from Games Workshop, numerous hobbyists, enthusiasts, and former customers have cancelled their subscriptions to Games Workshop subscription service Warhammer Plus and have pledged to boycott the company going forward. So on April 18th, ex-user Grimdark shared a screenshot of him cancelling his subscription and wrote, "Kiss my ass, Games Workshop, not another penny." I mean, it's funny. You know, this person can go without Warhammer longer than Warhammer and Games Workshop can go without money. Remember that when you piss off your customers. It's a weird thing we live in, isn't it? He explained why he cancelled and why he's boycotting in a subsequent post. Says, for those asking what happened, Games Workshop disrespected their lore by changing decades-old lore of the Custodies, only taking males from the highborn families of Terror to become Custodies to, nah, women can be Custodies now too, and they've totally always been a thing since the beginning, even though they've never been mentioned in any codex or BL book before. We totally aren't doing this for ESG money from BlackRock and Vanguard, one of their biggest shareholders. So yeah, of course. Another user, Velruna, responded to Grimdark informing him he was boycotting as well. Said, right there with you, I don't think I'll be buying anything else from Games Workshop, and I'm not even sure if I want to keep anything anymore. I think people will probably keep stuff, but buying things in future from people that like actively hate your main customer base? Ha! That's pretty dumb. Another user announced they're cancelling their Warhammer Plus subscription. I cancelled mine too. I'm married with kids. You betrayed the... What? That's not wise. Fine. You're married with kids. You betrayed the law and the fans. I will no longer spend money with your company. I will advocate others do the same. You better hope the woke mob supports you, because I will not. Good times. More as well. I cancelled mine too. I'm married with 4 kids. One is gay, another is trans. I'm not against female custodies, even though they've been the Emperor's favourite sons for years. I'm against the gaslighting from Games Workshop. A good lore-based explanation would have minimised this. That's the thing. You could have just changed. You could just adjust the lore. Be creative. Well, creativity goes out the window when it comes to woke stuff, doesn't it? And the boycott continues. I've cancelled mine and sending an email that I want a refund. If the decline, I will dispute it with the bank and have it charged back. I'm not renewing my White Dwarf subscription, and I was planning to do the new Imperium subscription. Combat Patrol, not now. And more. I've enjoyed this hobby since second as well. Long nights playing games with friends in a basement for years. That perfectly exemplifies Warhammer, doesn't it? In a basement. That is the kind of the place you would play it. I probably have models older than some of these people calling me a tourist. Yeah, sure. Now watch me leave with the money I would have spent on future stuff. And that's the thing, remember guys. These people can go without Warhammer far longer than Warhammer can go without their money. It goes further for me. I also unsubscribed to the 40k channels I was following, except for Archer's second channel, just to track in impending shit show that this IP will become. If the source material turns to slop, there is zero interest in having it regurgitated by YouTubers. That's true. I'm doing the exact same, except Voldemort. I knew this shit show would come to 40k, but it still kind of sucks when it actually happens. And there's more. It's just loads. This isn't it. This is not even a small fraction. There's so much. I feel you. I've been in the hobby since 1998. Work a well-paid job and getting married later this year. God forbid those welfare left can afford Warhammer Plus, but I cancelled mine as well. I hate people forcing an unwanted change on something already inclusive and representative. It is the gaslighting. People are pissed with the gaslighting. I was going to get one of the Chaos Battle Forces due out this spring, but I'm going to spend my money elsewhere, I think. Warhammer, if you have this little respect for the lore, the intelligence of your customers, why bother? I'll stick with Old Hammer in future. And this article from That Park Place, I'll leave a link down below, notes, this boycott of Games Workshop and Warhammer due to its obvious embrace of feminist ideology can only be seen as a good thing because it means less people will be subjected to future propaganda the Games Workshop will inject into its games, books and TV shows. It also means the demoralisation that comes along with this propaganda will be blunted. That is important. Like, who is your main customer base? Why are you trying to demoralise them? Surely, like, I just don't, like, appease them. Why? Are you allergic to money? What are you doing? So there you go. I mean, there's not much else really to say, to be fair. The boycott, let's see how long it lasts. Let's see if they... I mean, they won't backtrack, but let's just see, I guess. Let's see what happens. What do you guys think? Let me know down below. And what do you think about Henry Cavill? Because he's involved in a Warhammer TV film universe thing for Amazon Prime and Games Workshop. Do you think he'll be one to say fuck it? I don't know. Leave your thoughts down below. Cheers, guys. Take care. Bye-bye now.